Okay, so the world of AI, it's getting pretty crowded, right? A whole new family of models just dropped, and it's easy to get lost. How do you even begin to choose the right one? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise and zero in on one model that might just hit the perfect sweet spot between power and price, GPT-5 Mini. Look, if you're a developer or just a heavy user, you know this struggle. It's the classic dilemma, isn't it? Do you shell out for the giant, super powerful model that costs a ton and might be kind of slow? Or do you go for the cheap, fast one but worry you're losing out on smarts? It's a constant trade-off, and getting it wrong can seriously mess up your project or just empty your bank account. But what if you didn't have to make such a stark choice? This is where GPT-5 Mini comes in. It's not just another model in the line, nope. It's specifically designed to hit that sweet spot, that perfect balance of performance, speed, and cost. It's aiming to be the go-to everyday workhorse for this new generation of AI. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to define what makes Mini's role so unique. Then we'll dig into its biggest strengths and, of course, its weaknesses. After that, we'll see how it stacks up against its bigger, more famous siblings, and we'll wrap it all up with a simple guide to help you figure out if it's the right fit for you. Okay, let's dive right in. To really get a handle on GPT-5 Mini, we've got to understand where it sits in the whole ecosystem. It's not just a watered-down version of the big guy. It has a very specific job to do in OpenAI's new lineup.
So, at its core, GPT-5 Mini is built on the exact same modern foundation as the full GPT-5. What that means is it gets all the goodies, the advanced instruction following, the top-tier safety features. But, and this is the key, it's been fine-tuned for efficiency. It's built to be faster and much, much cheaper for all those day-to-day tasks.
All right, now we get to the fun part. This is where GPT-5 Mini really starts to shine. It's so easy to think smaller just means weaker, but Mini has some serious advantages that make it a surprisingly tough competitor, especially when you look at more than just raw horsepower. The first, and maybe most obvious win, is the cost. I mean, just 25 cents per million input tokens? That's a game changer. It basically opens up access to the latest AI tech for everyone. This makes huge projects like powering a customer service chatbot that gets thousands of queries or analyzing massive document dumps actually affordable in a way they just weren't with older, pricier models.
But here's the kicker. Low cost does not mean low performance. Seriously, don't let that Mini name fool you. This thing can punch way, way above its weight class in some really specific areas. We're talking about benchmarks where it's actually outperforming the full-blown GPT-5 on things like medical imaging tests. It's even surpassing pre-licensed human experts in certain reasoning tasks. For you developers out there, this means you get crazy good reliability for complex instructions, like making a series of API calls in the exact right order.
So what's the bottom line here? When you choose GPT-5 Mini, you aren't just getting the cheap option. You're getting this incredible mix of affordability, high speed, and really solid performance. It's basically engineered for efficiency without making you sacrifice too much capability on most of the tasks you'll throw at it. But let's be real, there's no perfect model. There's no free lunch. To get that amazing speed and low cost, you have to give something up. It's super important to understand what GPT-5 Mini is not built for, so you know you're using it the right way. And this slide really hits the nail on the head. GPT-5 Mini is an absolute champion for what we call light reasoning tasks, things like summarizing articles, classifying user feedback, or running a standard chatbot. It'll crush those all day long. But for that deep, complex, multi-step thinking, like architecting a massive software project or doing critical financial analysis, that's when you call in the big guns. This quote says it all, really. It's the secret to using this new GPT family properly, knowing which tool to grab for which job. Mini is your go-to screwdriver for the vast majority of tasks. But for those high-stakes moments where every single detail has to be perfect, that's when you reach for the heavy-duty power of its bigger siblings. Okay, so let's put this all into perspective. How does GPT-5 Mini really stack up against the models everyone knows and loves? The super popular and versatile GPT-4o and the new heavyweight champ, the full GPT-5. When you put them all side by side like this, the choice just becomes crystal clear. I mean, look at that cost difference. The advantage Mini has over both GPT-4o and even the full GPT-5 is just massive. So yeah, GPT-4o is still fantastic for your general creative stuff, and GPT-5 is the undisputed king for heavy-duty analysis. But GPT-5 Mini, it carves out this super important niche for itself, high-volume, cost-sensitive projects where you absolutely need speed. Looking at it this way, the cost savings are just staggering. For input tokens, GPT-5 is 5 times more expensive than Mini, and GPT-4o? A full 10 times more expensive. If you're building something that's going to make millions of API calls, picking Mini isn't just a tiny optimization, it's a core business decision.
You know, an analogy really helps here. Think of it like a toolbox. You'd never use a giant power drill to tighten one little screw, right? And you wouldn't try to drill through concrete with a screwdriver. Each model in the GPT-5 family is a specialized tool. GPT-5 Mini is that reliable, versatile screwdriver you'll find yourself reaching for probably 80% of the time.
So we've come to the million-dollar question. Is GPT-5 Mini the right choice for your project? Let's take everything we've talked about and boil it down to a simple, actionable framework to help you decide.
Honestly, it breaks down into these 3 simple steps. First, just be real with yourself about what matters most. Is it the budget? Is it the need for speed? Or is it all about raw analytical power? Second, take a hard look at your task. Is it something you'll be doing over and over again, or is it a complex one-off thing? Once you know the answers to those 2 questions, the right model pretty much chooses itself.
And to make it even easier, here's a little checklist for you. If you're reading this and nodding your head yes to these points, then yeah, GPT-5 Mini is almost certainly the tool for you. It's built for people who need a smart, fast, and affordable engine to power their applications at a massive scale. And that kind of brings us to a bigger, final thought here. For so long, the AI race has felt like it was all about one thing: who can build the biggest, most powerful model? But the arrival of something like GPT-5 Mini, it feels like a real shift. Maybe the future of AI isn't about one giant, all-knowing brain. Maybe it's more like a diverse toolbox, filled with smaller, super efficient, specialized tools, each one perfectly designed for a specific job. Kind of makes you wonder, right?